What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks bringing you some Go Battle League battles here in the Great League, and if you are sick of losing to poison types or dealing with any of these new poison type users, this is a team that absolutely shuts down a lot of those poison type users, and it's a team that has been showcased before in previous seasons of Go Battle League, and I think it's actually pretty strong in the meta right now, and that's Swampert Double Steel using Registeel and Skarmory as the steel types in the back there. So Swampert obviously going to be weak to grass types in the lead. Both of these steel types of Registeel and Skarmory can handle the grass types no problem. And so I'm just going to be showcasing a bunch of battles in this video where I'm running this team and kind of show how I play out a lot of different scenarios. And I will be having a legendary battle strategies video to come showcasing some of the battles using this team as well. I really like this team. I think it gives you a lot of flexibility on trying to like catch moves when you're going for baiting out those steel counters. Typically I am swapping Registeel on the safe swap, but depending on what the lead is, if Skarmory is like a slightly softer counter to it, then I might end up swapping in the Skarm, say if it's like an Alolan Ninetales or something. But here we can see my Registeel is up against their Skarmory, which is very favorable for me. I'm going to catch this resisted move onto my own Skarmory and try to preserve that Registeel as much as possible. And I believe most of these battles, at least in the beginning of the video, were taken from a Twitch live stream where I duo streamed with Jonathan Kelly, which is why the background is a little bit different than normal. But I'm able to farm down that Skarmory. So I have a lot of energy loaded here. And then they bring out Sableye and then instantly catch on, or they bring out Meganium and then instantly catch on Sableye. Amazing play. Really, really nice, but because I had that huge energy advantage, I'm still able to get to a Brave Bird to one-shot the Meganium, but very nice play by my opponent. Okay, Swampert into Shifttree. This is absolutely terrible. So I'm going to switch into my Registeel here, and then I'm hard punished with an Alolan Marowak. Two very hard counters right off the bat. Now, if this Alolan Marowak was running like Hex as the fast move, this would be slightly better for me, but it is running Fire Spin. All I can hope for is that my opponent gets a little bit too greedy and allows me to land a third Flash Cannon. So I'm over farming in this matchup a little bit to try to throw them off with how much energy I have. But they're going to throw a move here, and then they're going to be able to Fire Spin me down before I can get to another move, unfortunately. Really not good for me. So I'm going to bring out my Swampert. I know my Swampert is going to be stuck against that Shifttree, and so there's no point in shielding any of this. They also go for a Shadow Ball there, so they're not able to get to a second move. I know that Shifttree is coming back out, so I throw a Hydro here, hoping that maybe they lost track of how much energy my Swampert had, but they were keeping perfect count, and so they knew that it wasn't a Sludge Wave. Very nice play by my opponent. I'm able to successfully catch a Leaf Blade on my Skarmory, and now out comes Shadow Hypno, but with that damage that I took from the Leaf Blade, this is going to be very close. I need to try to get in any extra air slashes that I can and make sure that I'm doing as optimal of move timing as possible here to not allow this Hypno to get in any free energy. My Swampert still has some energy stored. It has a Hydro stored. So I'm going to throw this Sky Attack, but I still have that Shifttree to deal with. They actually ended up no shielding that, which allows me to perfectly farm it down. I immediately go for this Hydro here to burn that final shield. And they have to farm me down in order to have two moves for my Skarmory as well. But I'm able to get to this Hydro and come back from that very tough lead and very tough secondary matchup as well. Good game. Sableye leads are tricky because there's always a risk that there could be their own steel type in the back for charm coverage, and if this steel type is like a Bastiodon or a GFisk, that is very bad if I don't have alignment. And so most likely I might swap into Reggie at some point, but I also need to get this Sableye low enough where I can potentially lock on them down, and they're still too healthy right now. So I'm going to take this to the 2 shield. And then I'm farming up as much as possible and going to see what my opponent wants to do here. Down goes the Sableye. Out comes Golbat. This is totally fine by me. So I'm wondering if this is Sableye double poison. The second that I see this Golbat come out. And so I'm anticipating their final poison type to be a Nidoqueen. And so I think I bring out Reggie here. Yes, I bring out Reggie anticipating that it could be a Nidoqueen in the back, and that's exactly what it is. So I store all that energy. I instantly go into my Skarmory. Really all I need to do is just land one Sky Attack, and then these Air Slash damage is really going to do a lot to this Nidoqueen. So they let that Sky Attack go through, and honestly I can pretty much just Air Slash down, and then I will have stored energy against that Golbat. This is most likely the Earth Power here. Oh, they actually went triple Poison Fang. They were not able to get to an Earth Power. And this gave me enough energy to land a Sky Attack on the Golbat as well. I still have a move stored on my Registeel, and I think I went for a Focus Blast here just to be a little bit silly. Obviously, Flash Cannon is the correct move here, but I just wanted to show that Focus Blast was enough to take it out as well, despite being double resisted. All right, Medicham in the lead. If the Medicham is not running Pup and they don't sneak in any extra counters, I believe that Swampert wins this in the twos. So I always try to force the CMP on the first one. I throw at 8 just in case they're going for Psychic. I've noticed the last couple days a lot sketchier like fast move timing in matchups. There's just so much like visual lag and desync that has been taking place in my matches. It's kind of frustrating. So I'm gonna throw this Hydro here, and they do double shield, so I'm really hoping that I can get to this last second Hydro, and I'm able to get there. This is pretty huge because my Registeel gets to avoid this. But look what comes out! It's a GFisk that has an energy advantage. So I know it has one Mud Shot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right at the Earthquake, and my opponent throws immediately, knowing that I would be at the Focus Blast very shortly. And so I'm able to successfully catch that Earthquake on my Skarm. I don't have a Focus Blast loaded on my Reggie quite yet. But this GFisk is going to be a big problem for me. Luckily, it is in range of Focus Blast right now, and I know that it cannot stack a Rock Slide and an Earthquake. And since I threw Brave Bird, I'm just hoping that they don't Mud Shot me down. I go straight for the Focus Blast here because I knew that they were very heavily overfarmed. I wanted to guarantee that I get rid of this thing. And in the back is Vigoroth, another counter user. My Reggie did not really have many places to go here if shields were up, but because shields are down, able to land the Focus Blast and get rid of that Vigoroth there. Good game. Swampert into GFisk. Very favorable for me. If this is the Swampert, Pelipper, Venusaur line, this team does very well against this, but I'm anticipating that this might be double ice of some sort. They safe swapped an Abomasnow and they led GFisk. So they're immediately double weak to counter users. They also shielded their Abomasnow, which I did not anticipate at all because this is such a hard loss for the Abomasnow. So I'm just going to go Flash Cannon on this move here. Both Flash Cannon and Focus Blast hit for super effective, but when the Abomasnow was that healthy, I just went for Focus Blast just in case the Flash Cannon wasn't enough to one-shot it. So they bring out a Azumarill. I'm going to store all that energy and then go into Skarmory, and then my opponent concedes the match there because I was in a pretty solid position. All right, how do I handle Jellicent leads? Jellicent leads are very tough because Swampert and Reggie struggle against it. So ideally, you want to eventually make a switch into Reggie, as crazy as that seems. But once you land a couple Hydros here, it puts it closer to being in range of one Flash Cannon KOing, but not if they Bubble Beam bait shoot like this person did to me. So They threw a Bubble Beam on my Reggie and then they go into Obstagoon. That Bubble Beam was actually essentially wasted energy because even debuffed, Focus Blast is still going to threaten a one-shot on the Obstagoon. So I bait with Flash Cannon. I really want to get to another move here, but my opponent counts very well. I really want to get to this move. So I will shield this up and I'm going to go for this Focus Blast. This will still one-shot despite being debuffed here. And they do shield it up, so I'm immediately going to go into my Swampert to avoid getting farmed down. I just need to rip off 2 Hydros on this Obstagoon. But they switched their Jellicent back in. Not great for me. I need to get 2 Hydros off on this Jellicent in order to get rid of this thing. I'm able to get to this Hydro before they throw another move, but I think the Jellicent is barely going to survive at this health range. No, it was enough to take it out. That's very good for me. If they bring out the Obstagoon, I'm energy dry here, so it's a little bit scary. They actually bring out Venusaur, so I know what my plan is here. I need to come in with Skarmory as fast as possible, farm this all the way down, so I avoid getting farmed down by the Venusaur, and then I will have energy to threaten the Obstagoon. I believe Obstagoon does win the CMP tie against Skarmory, though, and so they swap it in right there. Luckily, it is in Sky Attack range. So I'm just going to throw this Sky Attack. They also got the boost there, so thank goodness I'm able to get rid of this Obstagoon right here. Down goes Obstagoon, and then Venusaur comes back out, and I'm able to shut that down. Good game. Swampert into Altaria. So what I normally like to do here is store a Hydro and then swap in Registeel. And the reason I like to do that is for scenarios like this. Let's say I got punished even harder by like a fighter or something, or something where Swampert can potentially win CMP. No matter how much energy they farm from this matchup, I know that my Swampert will still be able to get that Hydro Cannon off, especially if it's like an Alolan Marowak or like an Obstagoon or something like that. So they let that Focus Blast go through, which is good for me. I'm going to shield this Earthquake. And then I'm going to bring out my Skarmory. I was trying to catch an EQ there, but they actually have a Diggersby in the back, so this is going to be kind of tough. Diggersby is going to be able to get to these Fire Punches very quickly, and they have like a full health Altaria that I still have to deal with. But I have a Flash Cannon loaded on Reggie, and I have a Hydro loaded on my Swampert. So it's going to be kind of a complex end game here. Just going to chip away with these Sky Attacks, but man, it hardly does anything to Diggersby. The Diggersby is most likely in Brave Bird range right now, so maybe I should have committed to the Brave Bird. I probably definitely should have committed to the Brave Bird, so I'm going to throw this Hydro on the Diggersby, and they let it go. They're saving their shield for the Altaria, which is a very smart play, very smart play. They go for the Sky Attack here, and I'm going to get farmed down. I'm not able to... Oh, I am able to get to the Sludge Wave, which is great for me. I need to land 2 Flash Cannons to take out this Altaria. So down goes my Swampert. I have a Flash Cannon loaded already. And as long as I only get hit by 1 charge move from the Altaria, I should be okay. So this is just a Sky Attack. And then I'm really hoping that I can get to a Flash Cannon here. But they farmed up so much, and I was literally 1 lock-on away from having this game. Man, so close. So close. There were a couple scenarios in there that I could have played differently. I should have Brave Birded the Diggersby. Should have just committed to the Brave Bird. Okay, Abomasnow lead is tough, but I have 2 better responses. This is one instance where I do swap in the Skarm because it's the softer counter. And out comes AWAC. I'm totally fine with this because in the Zero Shield, you can essentially just go for Brave Bird. The defense fell right here though, which really sucks because this makes this little tactic not work out as cleanly as it should. I should be able to like air slash them down before they're able to fire spin me down, but that defense drop was very unfortunate. I bring out my Swampert. I don't get hit by a move, but I also don't get very much farm, which is not great. I have to keep my Swampert alive. I'm hoping that it might be an Azu in the back, and if it doesn't have Hydro, then there's still some play. So I'm going to bait with Hydro Cannon here. I do get a shield. That's good for me. And then I'm going to try to catch a move on my Registeel. But this looks like they intentionally threw on my Registeel, so I'm wondering if they're weak to this in the back. they're continuing to stay in. This is a terrible matchup for Abomasnow, so I'm very curious as to what they have in the back. Going to farm up as much as possible and then throw this flash cannon. And they shield that. Is it a Charmer in the back? They're very weak to Reggie in the back, apparently. Maybe it's a Skarmory? They're going for the big moves here. I'm really hoping that it's not like an Altaria or something. What is it? It's actually a Lugia. So I'm just going to instantly swap into my Swampert. I do not want to get farmed. And I need 3 Hydros to take out this bulky bird. But I'm going to be able to get there. And I saved my shield for the Swampert, so I am in a good scenario here. Able to take that game. Good game. Abomasnow lead. Pretty tough, and also a really cool team from my opponent. Nidoqueen, man. You love to see the Nidoqueen leads with this team, because honestly, switch advantage does not really matter that much. Out comes Pelipper, and so I'm actually going to chip this and then go into my Skarmory. This just guarantees that I will maintain positive alignment here, and that I will be able to decide what Pokemon comes out on what. Because otherwise, Pelipper with too much of an energy advantage, Skarm actually struggles against it in the 2 shield, and I just don't want to have to deal with that. We get some really cool lag there. Down goes the Pelipper. And they bring out Nidoqueen onto my Skarmory. So I'm very curious as to what is in the back. They land an Earth Power. That's totally fine. It's a Medicham. So at this point, my Swampert needs to go to the Medi, and I believe I swapped that right there. And my Registeel needs to go to the Nidoqueen. Have to shield all this up. Luckily, it is an Ice Punch. I have back-to-back Hydros loaded here. It does take 2 Hydros to knock out the Medicham. So I'm over-farming a little bit more, and then I'm going to throw right here. And they do commit their final shield. Makes sense because this Nidoqueen has no play, but I had so much energy on Swampert. I'm able to eliminate this Medicham, and Nidoqueen is just going to have a rough day. Didn't even need to use the Reggie there. Good game. Swampert into Obstagoon. Okay, this lead is also tough. And what the Obstagoons that I keep going against keep boosting on me. And so it makes it very difficult to consistently win this match. But if there's any Charmer in the back line is going to line up really well. They got in an extra counter there, which is unfortunate. I do need to get shields down here. They got in 2 extra counters, which is really not good. So I no shield this Night Slash and they boost, and that's a nightmare. That is an absolute nightmare because this Night Slash is going to hit for so much damage now because of this boost. Oh my gosh, and these counters are chunking, and they get to another one. These dang Obstagoons are such a problem. So I'm going to shield, farm down. Hopefully there's not a GFisk in the back. It's their own Skarmory. So I'm farming, and I'm just going to store all that energy and go to my Registeel. It's a Politoed in the back. There is absolutely nothing that I can do here. Very unfortunate for me. What I should have done is at least I should have taken the lead to the 2 shield because I do outpace. And then most likely, if I win that lead but I'm down shields, they probably bring in their Politoed there. And if I'm able to align the Skarm with the Toad and then my Registeel against their Skarm, it's very favorable for me. So it really all came down to the lead matchup there. And the Obstagoon, I needed to commit more shields to get full use out of my Swampert there in the lead. So well played by my opponent. Winning the lead there definitely won them the game. They were able to get everything aligned where they needed to. Swampert into GFisk, very positive lead. Whenever they stay in here like this, it's very strange. So I just keep farming. There's absolutely no reason to throw. If they get to 8, which is where the Earthquake is, you can force the CMP tie. But they bring out Politoed. So I'm going to stay in here for a little bit. And then I store a Hydro and then swap Skarmory because I know my Skarmory is now going to be stuck against GFisk, and I don't want to be in a scenario where they're able to farm up a lot of energy and then like land an Earthquake on my Swampert. So storing the Hydro there is actually very important. I know GFisk is going to come out, and I go straight for the Brave Bird. Reason being is I want to guarantee that one Rock Slide takes me out, because this is going to make it a lot harder for them to like farm me down with Mud Shots. They have to be like very tactical with how they undercharge this because of my defense drop. Down it goes. I have the Hydro loaded, so I'm waiting out the clock here, and I know that they can't store Rock Slide and Earthquake, so I throw one Mud Shot, see if they're going to catch, and then they actually shield. I felt like this was just going to be a Rock Slide because I only saw one Mud Shot go through, and I was correct. Then they bring out Altaria. I store a Hydro. Once again, very important. This matchup in the 2 shield is actually favorable for Altaria, which is ridiculous to think about. It's just how good Dragon Breath is. I have to shield up these resisted moves. I need to guarantee that this Altaria gets out of here, but I cannot shield this Sky Attack quite yet. I need to see where they want to spend their final shield. So I'm going to build up a lot of energy and then throw this Flash Cannon. I still have my Hydro stored. They're going to save their shield for the GFisk. So I need to get to this Focus Blast. I cannot swap in my Swampert here, because if I accidentally transfer the Mud Shot damage to the Swampert, I lose. So I have to stay in here, be patient, let them farm me down, knowing that I win CMP, because if I try to make that aggressive swap and I transfer the damage, I lose this game. So I'm able to win with just a sliver of health remaining, despite me having solid counters to their team. So very well played by my opponent there. The Swampert mirror match is, man, not enjoyable at all. There's just so many factors at play. Luckily, you don't have to worry about baiting, but it really comes down to who's going to sneak an extra move. I eventually like making a move into my Skarm like this, because I know that I survived 2 Hydros, and most likely they might have their own Skarmory in the back. They're able to get to 3 Hydros here, which is unfortunate though. So I will shield this. That shield was purely just to have me try to maintain positive alignment. I'm going to go for the Sky Attack here, and then I'm able to go for another Sky Attack. I missed the Excellent, which feels bad, and then I'm just going to go for the combo play with my Swampert here, because our switch clocks are very out of sync. I do get a shield right there, which I thought was pretty interesting, and I get a Mud Shot through, which is very good for me. I shield up the big move, so I can farm. I cannot Mud Shot this Hypno down though. The confusion damage is really adding up. They have their own Swampert with minimal health. They have a Tropius. This is not good, but I do have Registeel, which shuts this down pretty nicely. They do shield up the Sludge Wave. That's totally fine. They are trying to farm me down, but I catch on a minimal health Skarmory here. They were recognizing that they could not fully farm me down, and now I'm in a pretty good spot here. They bring out their Swampert trying to catch, but I knew that it was low and out of energy, so I'm able to farm that down and take that game. Good game. Swampert into Azu. So typically I like to throw a Sludge, eventually make a move into Reggie. But if I can leave this with a Hydro stored as well, it's like very nice for me. So they actually end up shielding that first one, and it was CMP, so I will shield this. And I'm just going to farm, and try to catch, but they switch out, which I was very surprised by, because I was going to try to make that move. So I'm just staying in here. I have back-to-back Hydros. I want to see where they want to spend their shields here. So I'm going to rip off another Hydro and see if they're just totally sacking their Hypno here. They totally sacked their Hypno. Out comes the Azumarill again. I knew it had loaded energy, so I'm going to make this catch onto my Reggie. What is in the back? Farming. And I'm going to be able to land a Flash Cannon on this Azu, which is great for me. It's an AWAC in the back. Oh my gosh. Well, this is going to be tricky. Because I need to be able to get a Hydro off on this. They are going to be able to farm me down coming out of this. If I can get to another Flash Cannon, that's really great because it's going to be in a manageable health range where even my Skarmory can handle it. I don't want to get farmed all the way down, which is why I switched into Swampert immediately. And I'm able to get to this Hydro right here to try to burn the last shield. Their Azumarill is low. They have to throw right here, thank goodness. Now I can bring out Skarmory. I know my Skarmory wins CMP against their Azu, so I do want some energy stored. So I'm going to bring out Skarm, get some farm here. I'm going to get hit by a move here, which is not great, but I have to just deal with it. Ouch. And then they combo play with me with Azu. Very nice play. But Skarmory does not win CMP against the AWAC. So I bring out my Registeel. I'm going to throw the Flash Cannon. I get farmed down by AWAC, but they will not have enough energy to get to a move. And I will be able to throw this Sky Attack and take this game. Good game. Very dynamic game there. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate the content. And I'll see you all in the next video.